I'm Schrello News, everyone! Welcome back to the Schrello News segment. Ah, yes, where we capture the latest of the classical world's news, and also I give you some updates. But we have a range of topics today that is very small. Not much has happened since last week, but I can give you this. You know who Bruckner is? Anton Bruckner, Austrian composer. It's very famous for using the 12-step system. In Swedish, we call it second Wiener school, but that's not really what you call it. Basically, in normal speak, one of the forefathers for more modern composition, I would say. And when I say modern composition, I'm talking early 190 century. He is turning, 200th birthday today. So that's pretty cool, I would say. And it's, yeah, you can basically expect a lot of symphony orchestras out there in the world is gonna play a lot more Bruckner. But I do love, Bruckner's music is really cool. I mean, Schoenberg, Bruckner, all those guys are quite legendary, I would say. Secondly, we also have some conductor news. And Marin Alsop, first woman conductor who gets the principal guest position over at the Philadelphia Orchestra in the US. That's pretty cool. It's the first woman, as I said earlier, to hold the title, which I feel like always worth a mention. Funny side story, when I did my sort of a year of orchestra playing, that orchestra focused a lot on women composers, which I think is pretty good. It was really nice. It was a good experience. I had a favorite piece, and I don't remember the woman's composer's name now, but it was called Sea Sketches. It was a British composer, I believe. Loved that. It was like a string arrangement. Anyway, have you heard any Anton Bruckner? Have you heard any of the Philadelphia Orchestra? Tell me in the chats and the comments. On some smaller news, there were like kind of a lot of headlines about this AI harmony. But in this case, I feel like AI is making sort of a good difference in the world. And they were talking a lot about how they used AI harmony to help disabled musicians to play Beethoven. And I think they played Ode to Joy, like they couldn't really play it before whatever disability they had. So if they probably follow the melody, a choir plus orchestra would accompany them. And that's a lot thanks to the AI. So that's really sick. I can imagine a lot more of that will be employed into the future. I mean, AI music in general is quite scarily fantastic. I feel like I'm quite safe in my industry. It's really hard to copy a cello player. We're not really there yet. Ask me again in 100 years, then I'll probably say something else. Then probably they will be able to build like personas of certain famous cellists from their libraries and kind of just replicate it by that. But you won't have that live experience. You won't have that interpretation skill. That will never really, I mean, it's like competing with live music. It's impossible to do. Definitely though, in like basic composition style, I know AI would be a huge game changer. I think it already is, you know, like they're already talking about AI artists, like big labels are going to use, you know, made up artist names, and with their enormous library of music, of course they can like crank out, hey, I want this chord progression, but I want something more spicy in it. And they might that might be a great inspiration for the writers, for whatever artist or whatever they're pushing. A lot of discussing questions on AI. We could do like a completely different news segment on this. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Follow up from last week's news. We have the English National Opera. I was a little bit unsure, but it is kind of confirmed. There's been a lot of murmurs this past year in London kicking ENO out because they want to spread out the culture. The Arts Council wants to spread out the culture in the country. They're going to Manchester. They're absolutely doing it, but they're probably returning back to London 2029. So that is one of the latest updates there. If you want to hear some Schrello personal news, I will be really working on other projects this next month, 2 months-ish. So unfortunately, my live streaming will be really like broken in days, in which days I can actually live stream, just so you know. Sort of like giving you a little heads up for that. I will probably most likely this next weeks, months, I will do lives on Wednesdays, perhaps Sundays, if I have the energy. I'll traveling a lot. I might give more updates on that later. You can probably follow me along on Instagram if you want to see where I'm at and what I'm doing. But for now, I'm just keeping a little bit down low because I'm not sure how much details I can actually share. But it's gonna be really fun. I'm gonna be quite tired, but I'm gonna try to keep up all the things happening around here. This is unfortunately just the life of freelancing musician, teacher, and also social media. That's what I do. In other news, what's the latest with me that I can give you in updates? Yeah, CD. Final thing. The final thing I will mention here before we end the whole news segment is that we reached a goal thanks to our very generous patron 2 months ago. And when we reached £1,000 per month on Patreon, now we have dropped down again a little bit. It goes a little bit up and down. It depends. Sometimes, the declines are by design or by mistakes. There's a lot of that going on. Anyway, we reached the goal, and we're going to make a physical CD. We have done some voting on Patreon. If you're a Schrello Junior and up, you can vote and actually have your say in what album cover and what songs we're going to have. We're going to pull all of those results together, and we're going to do a final vote. So if you haven't put in your vote yet, go and vote. Or if you're not a patron yet and you want to vote, go and vote. Or maybe you're a Schrello Mini and want to vote, you can upgrade to vote. So do that. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be available on the Schrello Classic Store, the Schrello.com website, on my merch store. So that's going to be really cool. First CD ever. And yeah, that concludes the latest news. We sure ended up with quite a lot of things to say, didn't we? Ha! Lovely. But thank you for listening to Schrello News. I feel so official.